Welcome to Occupy Reno's The Real News. I'm Kathy.
And I'm Bob. Tonight we're going to talk about reforming the mental health system. Now, while pretty much everyone agrees that the mental health system is broken, the powerful players, the drug companies, appear to be blocking any meaningful reform. It seems as if they understand their profits will substantially diminish when meaningful reform happens. Maintaining the status quo, or making it even more dysfunctional and forcing more people onto drugs, appears to be their goal.
Why do you say that, Bob?
Well, forced drugging and involuntary outpatient commitments have been the goal of the drug companies and their various lackeys for quite a few years now. In many ways, this has been a diversionary tactic to prevent a first-rate mental health system from becoming a reality.
Or how so a diversion?
Well, the drug companies spend billions of dollars on marketing to convince people they need drugs for everything. And many doctors have accepted the money and essentially become legal drug pushers. Many are in too much of a rush to put people on drugs that they rarely bother to adequately screen them. Well, more than 20 years ago, Dr. Koran of Stanford University designed an algorithm to help screen out individuals who have treatable medical conditions, which can often manifest as appearing to be psychological problems. It's been largely ignored and underutilized. And depending on which study you look at, and there's been quite a few, from 5% of people with psychiatric diagnosis to 75% of these people, they found out have been misdiagnosed entirely and can be treated without the psychiatric drugs.
Well, 75%, that's a high number.
That is a high number. Not all studies are that high. Some is only 5%, as I said. But even then, 1 out of 20 is still a lot of people. And within the mental health system, it typically takes 15 or 20 years, and this comes from the President's New Freedom Commission several years ago, from between advances being made and before they come commonplace in the mental health system. 15 to 20 years. That's really too long. And the mental health system is largely a bureaucratic system. Maintaining the status quo is the goal of all bureaucracies. And there's been people who've reported telling me that they've heard mental health workers during the lunch breaks or whatever talking about how they don't want people to recover because they're afraid they'll lose their jobs if they recover. With all the people out there, that's really absurd. There's so many people who need help, and frightening people away from the system is not good. There's a lack of professionalism throughout the mental health system.
A lack of professionalism within the mental health workers.
Between the whole system, the workers, the doctors, unfortunately. Professional organizations, when there's a failure, they'll review to see what happens, what went wrong, and how can they make it better. That does not happen in the mental health system. Things are too rushed, and while there are many options that can be utilized within the mental health system, they prefer not to look at anything except drugs and talk therapy. Some talk therapies are fine. Some work. But there are a lot of alternative stuff that can be used, including the research on trauma, the non-drug treatments for trauma. Many of the trauma symptoms are the same as the mental health diagnosis. They treat trauma, people could recover and not spend a lifelong on drugs.
So to summarize, Bob, what does the national health system need to do?
Well, I'm going to oversimplify things, but utilize the Koran algorithm for every mental health client. Find out what other conditions they have that are treatable. Question the individual about the traumas they've experienced. Don't berate them. Too many people are told they're lousy individuals in the mental health system by these so-called professionals. So people don't want to go to the mental health system because it's so abusive. Help them set up a recovery plan, including the non-drug treatments. Have them understand that any drug regimen that they're put on should be regarded as a crutch to be used for a short time until they have able to reduce the medication and eventually eliminate it. And while everyone's path to recovery is somewhat different, recovery is possible for everyone.
It's a lot to think about. Thank you, Bob, for bringing that to us tonight. This is The Real News. You can follow us at our GAs. We have them on Saturdays at 1 o'clock. Check us out on our Facebook page or on our website.
www.occupyreno.wordpress.com